wish for a long, long time. When you're awake or sleeping, say my name no time. I don't want to be my baby, oh, but I got.
Every weekday and join CradleRadio on CradleRadio. Wake up in the morning every weekday and join CradleRadio on CradleRadio.
This is CradleRadio.
This is CradleRadio. This is CradleRadio. Wake up in the morning every weekday and join CradleRadio on CradleRadio.
Today's gonna be great. It's gonna be lovely. Lovely. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, world. Good morning from any part of the world. You're listening to me right now. This is Canada. And I start this day by giving glory to God for the gift of life, for each and every moment that I'm sitting right in here in the studios of Cradle Radio and having to go around doing what I do best. Just trying to see if we're connecting to Cradle Radio live transmission as well. So you got to just hold forth for this one. It's gonna be a bumpy ride this morning. Good morning, my name is CradleRadio. I give glory to God for the gift of life, for making me witness another day, for making me see things as it unfolds and to see things as they come. With maturity on my side, I've learned to analyze stuff and, temper things before reacting to them. One of my best phrases conned from yesterday is, what we doing here is called a live stream of a live transmission. And thanks Talashi for having to, write that down for me and giving it back to me. This is brilliant. Without God, there's nobody. It's just my thing in the morning. If you're a regular listener of the show, you'd understand. I'm not trying to sway nobody into my belief system. I'm just trying to be me, and I'm trying to be grateful, in which, of course, I've got the rest of my life to just keep going at, as regards communicating with my Creator. I love that aspect of it. It's just my own way of morning devotion, kind of, especially in the morning. If anybody has the time and the wherewithal to visit a hospital, you probably know how lucky you are. You probably know how great it is to be alive and to be walking around, doing your thing. Having to go to the cafe, for instance, to get a coffee, it's a blessing. Having to lift up even a spoon or a fork, it's a blessing. Having to sip or gulp water and it goes through without any inhibitions, it is a blessing. Having to just watch TV or read a text on your phone, it's a blessing. I can keep going on and on and on like that. Time will not permit us, especially we're on the show. I'll continue my gratitude to my Creator, possibly after the show, for each and every moment that I'm on this Mother Earth. I appreciate that. The show is called This is Canada. It's a flagship off of Cradle Radio. So whatever you're listening to me right now, if you're on Cradle Radio, you're actually listening to the same thing. The only difference is that we want to bring a little light into, the going on arounds in the studio so that everybody can know, the process, a way of beaming a light into a process that is ongoing. And we kind of love it. And I did say earlier on it was going to be a bumper. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, today we're on YouTube. The same thing you're watching on Facebook live stream. We're live streaming on YouTube. So the likes of Talasha, you could just go on your YouTube right now and you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it. So we're running concurrently on 3 major platforms now. We're on Cradle Radio as a radio station. We're on live stream, which is a Facebook live stream, and we're on YouTube as well. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Cradle Radio there. Cradle Radio, that's right. Best part about it, if you subscribe to our live Facebook page, you're gonna see the link to our YouTube page in there as well. So you could, or just Cradle Radio, and you'll be watching the same thing you're probably watching on Facebook Live. You're gonna be watching it on YouTube live as we speak. Yeah. That's one of the things that we're trying to comb through today in a way to make everything work. Hence, starting the show a little bit behind schedule. But we thank God for the gift of life. And that's why I say each and every day is a blessing. Each and every day is a moment that is a part of it. And the good part about this one is that you can also comment while the show is on YouTube. And we'll still be having your comment raised up on the screen while we're having the live show as well. So it's not going to be like, okay, it's only on Facebook that I can comment. No, you can also comment on YouTube. And we'll beam all of it live. Live, that's right. Yesterday, we were talking about a situation that not only for yesterday, but I just realized, not just realizing this now, but I got a word from all the contributors of yesterday's show about how they're feeling the same way, even in the U.S. or even in the UK, worldwide. It seems to be a pariah, so to say. So, I said yesterday, 1 hour wasn't enough for this. It wasn't enough for the show as of yesterday. So what we did, and what we agreed on, was that we were going to have a part 2 of that same show, a continuation of that show. We're going to have it today in, I think, 2 hours or less than 2 hours, gravitating towards 2 hours. Is gonna really make a day for so many people that might have missed on what happened yesterday. And that's why I say I'm thankful, I'm grateful, and I love the fact that we can shed more light on this. And towards the conclusion of today's show episode, I wanted to say we will be reading out something that the Canadian government is implementing in terms of curtailing or curbing this madness. And this is not coming from the government, people. Sometimes we blame the government for a whole lot of stuff, but this is not the government that's frauding you. No. It's people that you walk by on the streets every day. Now, their job is to have telephony operations, detailed telephony operations with your details, with the mandate to fraud you. Do you know how many people have been gotten by this madness and craziness in man's quest to having all the riches of this world by getting other people's wealth in one cunning way or another, and just having to do stuff like lying, like sitting down somewhere. And one of the things that I realized too is there's a guy online that is a hacker. I think is a black he's a white hacker. That's right. In IT we call there are black hackers and there are white hackers, and this is a white hacker, and he gets into some of those offices where those are elaborate offices. Some of those offices where the whole theme, the whole idea is just to call you the call centers of this world. They call them call centers, and they call you to just dupe you, to fraud you, to lure you into releasing some information, and by one way or the other, they cut away some of your details, not only your details, bank accounts, everything. It's sad. It is sad. And that's why the same topic from yesterday is still on as of this moment. All right? As of this moment. Yesterday we were looking at a really, really huge topic, hence the need to bring it back today. And it's titled Phone Fraud Epidemic. Over half of Canadians targeted as impersonation and spoofing scams explode. And this one we call a part 2, a continuation of that of yesterday. Now, we look at things in different quarters. We look at things from different areas, different perspective as well. And what comes in our mind is the fact that some people who you might assume are working in one company or the other, those people are actually sitting somewhere. Okay, I'm about just, pardon my touchy fingers. It's like me watching myself on YouTube, and I'm like, whoa, that's me. Okay, all right, let's keep it rolling then. So it's one of those things that you look at, and what comes in your mind is, why would somebody do this? But it's the world that we're living in. People do crazy stuff. And one thing that I've realized is that it's man's inhumanity to man. In one way or the other, you get to some places in the morning and you find out those places are parked. My spouse and I, we were going, when we first got to Canada, we just realized that the mall is always packed at 10 a.m. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad for business for those people there. But in a society where if people are actually working, the mall, tends to build up towards afternoon, towards evening. But no. I raised my head one time and I said, no, there's so many people in working. Because if you're working, you're not going to gravitate towards them. I know so many people working there as well. And it becomes a process. It becomes a regular thing. And I might be wrong, because, no man is perfect. The rate at which malls get to be crowded in the morning speaks volume, at least in this part of the world. The rate at which their malls, don't come for me going like, oh yeah, we had to buy stuff and that's understandable. But look at it from a different point of view. 10 o'clock, the malls are packed. It's a place of business. I understand that as well. But 10 o'clock, the malls are packed. So the Canadian government decided, listen, this is enough. Enough is enough. They've decided to combat fraud, financial fraud, whereby they need to be protecting Canadians against scams and abuses. I hope sincerely that those spam calls, those fraudulent calls are going to stop coming to my phones. It says Budget 2025 will outline government's plan to develop a new federal anti-fraud strategy to combat financial fraud, the National Anti-Fraud Strategy. So it is fraud in Canada is like a pandemic. A mental pandemic, so to say. Not only mental, it becomes a physical pandemic, if you want to put it lightly as well. Because people's lifestyle, people's savings, people's contributions of practically their lifetime could be carted away with this madness that seems to be pervading the society day in, day out. This morning, you'll probably see some people calling you or texting you. Are you looking for a job? First things first, don't give out your SIN number, your social insurance number. Don't give it to nobody. sometimes they do call you. And for naive, young, upcoming lads, they tell them they want to give them a job. From talking about a job, they sway them into thinking or talking about how they can market stuff, market goods and services online. For every time they market or click or send those messages out, they're gonna get paid for it. But before you get paid for it, you'll see your hard work, your virtual hard work, climbing, saying you've earned so amount of money. They'll keep going and saying you've earned this and that. They'll keep going and bloating you out like you're earning $1,000 a day. That's a lie. That's a big lie. They're gonna tell you so many palatable things, so many sweet things. And then to withdraw your money, your earnings that you spent your time earning, they will tell you to be able to withdraw that amount, you got to put some money, send some money to a certain account, then that money can come. Because of the fact that they put you in a rush, in a quagmire of some sort, they already targeted you, they've swayed you, they've built the momentum up for you to the point that you look like, okay, I've earned $15,000 stupidly in a space of 3-4 days. What is $200 for me to get my $15,000 or $10,000? And there you get hooked. At that moment, you're hooked. It might fall through the first time. You might withdraw $600 or thereabout, and you're gonna be happy, thinking, oh my God, I've nailed it. This is a good job for me. And believe you me, it all started from a telephonic conversation that might be through text or calls. They're gonna give you somebody that will be called a mentor. Now that mentor of yours is the one that will say, oh, I've done it before. Possibly, most times, a soothing voice on the other side of the phone was gonna tell you, I'm just helping you. That's part of the scam. That's part of the scam. Gonna tell you, oh, I'm just helping you. And now this person that's meant to be helping you, all right, this person that's meant to be helping you was going to be doing all sorts of stuff for you as a part of the scheme as well. Happens to be a part of those group of people whose daily is to make you feel sad. And this stuff, it's not about a slight emotional, it's not about a slight emotional feeling alone. Things like this had led to people committing suicide, people selling their homes, people selling everything they got. They even go up borrowing. And that's the life that we're living in right now. That's the society we're living in right now. Where somebody, because of the fact that they want to get rich by all means, all they want to do, they want to get rich by all means. They want to get everything done by all means. And all they want to do is cut away your money. And you might ask yourself the bigger question and say, what's going to protect me? Well, the government is trying to protect you. But what about the institutions themselves? Institutions that have your details readily at hand. Financial institutions, government agencies, companies that hold your information and they go, what's the best word to use with this one? They outsource the back-end staffers to other countries, or possibly not even be in that country, but how do they vet these people? How come my telephone company needs to have my date of birth? That's one thing. And sometimes my telephone company calls me and they go like, oh, what's your date of birth? I'm saying, I never gave you guys my date of birth in the first instance. So what are you asking about that for? And the other person, and it had happened to me. And the other person on the other side of the line will go like, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So what are you looking at? Because I never gave you my date of birth. So your authentication page, why is it prompting for that when I never gave that? It's just a question that I have in mind today to ask all of y'all. This is Cradle Radio's This is Canada. What can I say? What can we do?
Wake up in the morning every weekday and join Akinloye on Cradle Radio.
We're looking at something that is affecting, still affecting, that has affected not one, but almost half of all Canadians by proxy. Could be your family, could be your friend, it could be your loved one, it could be you as well. And it's rare to look at and not find somebody who's happened to have had a call or a text message saying, hello, do you need to make $1,000 a day? Now, tell me truthfully, who makes $1,000 a day by one telephone conversation? That is absurd. It's stupidly absurd. It's not gonna happen. The way the human mind works. And I'm not saying it to just take your mind off of something that might be fictitious, but this is reality. And this is why I laugh a lot when I see all those adverts, even on, those platforms, practically all platforms. Everybody got a right to advertise. I can't blame them. It's their work, it's their business. But somebody telling you, and this is why I really get it off. I try to program this out of my Google services as well, because you want a second job? You see people who are looking like they're suffering, and they're trying to tell you, there's a new work in Canada. Oh, my people. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And people fall for this each and every day. It's a Ponzi. It's a scheme. It's the greatest scheme in the handbook. I have this. I've bought this out. No. The human mind, the way it works. The human mind. If somebody's making a lot of money somewhere, they ain't gonna tell you. That's the way we're wired. Believe you me. And so a lot of people gonna be upset today, especially when you watch this, because reality needs to be heard. Reality needs to be spoken as well. Somebody telling you, I made this, I made that, come join me. That's a scam. Go discover your own way of making money. Or go the traditional way of applying for things that you want to head towards. And those are areas in which your infos are leaked out because of man's desire, man's urge. And when I mean man, I'm not just talking about, one gender. I'm talking about the whole gender classification, if you know what I mean. And people go around and go like, this and that. And sometimes I'm looking at some adverts on most of the platforms that I, engage myself in. And I know it's targeted, but why the heck are you targeting stuff for me because of my name? Because I'm Akinloye. It doesn't mean that you send me some stupid stuff about people who just come. I'm Canadian through and through. So stop telling me about people, if you're just new. I'm not new in the country. So your targeted analytics is wrong. I ain't new. I'm oldie. It's crazy. And when you look at it, you ask yourself, how on earth did I miss my way, or how on earth did I get involved in this stuff? It's those advertorials that you engage yourselves in. And deep within my mind, I'm thinking, how come the government wasn't doing anything about it? I can't speak for now, but I remember my Verizon out of the US, my Verizon phone back in the day, there was a way that Verizon, I'm not advertising for them anyways, they're not in Canada anyways, but we're worldwide, so I'm not going to talk about them anyways. So there was a way my telephone provider back in the day in New York was tagging those calls. They were filtering those calls. They filtered it in a way that you cannot get to me. And that's one thing that I noticed in Canada. We're talking, this is Canada. So call your friends that are Canadians, your loved ones, your friends, even your foes. You might want to help them out by sharing this out. And don't forget to be a part of this show. Kindly follow us on our social media handles, be it Facebook, YouTube. We're live on both platforms today, Facebook and YouTube. So if you are subscribed to CradleRadio on YouTube, you will be watching me the same way you're practically watching on Facebook. And then if you heading towards a live transmission, yeah, go on Cradle Radio. But we're practically on all social media platforms as Cradle Radio. So if you're there, you could be a part of this show and have to join us and contribute your own experience that you might have had with this sheer madness coming from one how would I put it? It's not just one person that's doing it now. It's more than one person. And then it's coming from one creation, one being to another. You know, being doesn't even qualify. You know, coming from one creation, man to man. Anyways, this is Cradle Radio. My name is Aki Lloyd. And I'm about heading to you with a beautiful song that's coming from one of the best human beings I've known in my life. Not now, but, you know, towards the end of the show, we'll roll that. And it's called BTJ. That's the title of a song. It's a brand new track. And I got a right to play it. So, you know, try not to just, you know, mute the song. Yeah, I had it delivered to me by the artist himself. You know, beautiful song. Previewed it yesterday. I had a fun time doing that. This morning we're looking at a continuation of what we discussed yesterday. It's not necessarily because of the fact that we want to keep talking about it, but because that topic is broad and we're not going to be able to cover enough yesterday. And as a matter of fact, the Canadian government has decided to deal with this head on in ways to protecting its people. Hopefully, the people that responded to us yesterday would have their government follow suit. We can all learn from one another. And hopefully, the process that the Canadian government is trying to engage itself in protecting the lives and the well-beings and the well-beings of its citizenry, protecting them against such occurrences will work. I'm believing it would work, at least some form of deterrence that would make it worth the while, especially as this is becoming a big deal. It's just getting worse and worse by the day. What can I say? What can I say? This is Cradle Radio. I'll be right back.
Wake up in the morning every weekday and join Akin Loye on Cradle Radio. Wake up in the morning every weekday and join Akin Loye on Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio.
13 ans que j'ai pas mis les pieds ici. Et me revoilà ici, au pied de la tour SABC. Je m'imaginais si j'étais resté dans le coin, que serait ma vie? On dit que le pays est mal en point. J'atterris l'après-midi dans beau aéroport. Tout semble si calme, là où le crime bat tous les records. C'est la famille, roule pas sur l'or, n'a pas pu venir me chercher. J'ai cuisiné taxi sur tant de mystères à percer. Il fait froid à l'hôtel, j'ai la peau terne et pâle. Je passe mes premières soirées seul sur ma terre natale. Laisse la monnaie de ma pièce, 13 ans, pas une lettre. Je me sens dévisagé par cette ville qui m'a vu naître. Mes nuits sont tourmentées, je tourne insomniaque à 4h du mat. Analyse mes cauchemars dans mon cognac. Bois comme un polac, y'a des trucs qui ne changent pas. Je pense bien arrêter, hein, mais je pense pas. Je pense à mes gens pour qui mon amour jamais ne tarit. Des petits bouts de mon cœur disséminés dans les rues de Paris. À mes petits frères et tous, à nos soirées barrées. Je fantasme sur de Maxi, de Gogo Yubari. Je pense aux familles 16, Castro et Diego en Chine. Ah oui, Lothar et Thibaut McFly, j'ai pas vu sa fille. Tous ces trucs pas finis, j'ai du mal à flotter. L'album à Bazou et mon histoire avec Chloé.
I'm in love with the city of my birth. Sengihamba amazwe akude ezizweni kodwa ngiyele Goli. Home of my body, it's back to joy.
Viennent les retrouvailles avec la famille. Tante Lily me fait la surprise, sort de derrière le mur sans rien dire. David n'a pas changé, bienveillant comme avant. Tante Lily a les cheveux blancs maintenant. Je kiffe le braille dominical, le carry et l'agneau grillé. On boit du brandy, on parle bouquin et canoncier. Silence surchargé d'émotions, les pupilles pleines. Truc indescriptible au fond des tripes qui te prennent. Même si le peuple saigne, car les chiens tirent les ficelles. La nation arc-en-ciel est pleine de gens qui s'aiment. Balafre plein les gueules, pas autant que dedans. Mais c'est toutes couleurs confondues que l'on regarde devant. Gouvernement serpent, police corrompue jusqu'à la moelle. Mais voilà, les médias ne parlent que de ce qui va mal. Moi le blanc sud-africain, payez-vous ma tête. Pensez-vous qu'il y ait moins de racisme en France ou aux States? La présence de mes ancêtres à chaque seconde. Proudly South African, et mon torse se bombe. Back to Josie, Johannesburg City, là où mes parents m'ont conçu.
This is Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio.
This is Cradle Radio,
The home of all things Africa.
C'est depuis le début, pas au bout de mes
I'm
surprises.
in love with the city of my birth. Sengihamba amazwe akude ezizweni kodwa ngiyele Goli. Home of my body, it's back to Josie.
Yes, it's back, and it's all being whack, being tight in the nighttime. See the knife come when the phantom speaks, and nothing's really fun. Things don't change. 10 years run and money don't come, and nothing's really fun. I will repeat myself the millionth time because life reciprocates with the nonsense and the vibes. I check myself, try to play it, but you can't redeem all time, lost time. It's all wasted. I can check.
This is a good song. This is that song that I listen to and I go around and think, oh my God, my oh my, my oh my. I might be listening to this for the very first time. Hell yeah. And part of my profanity. It's from the album Not Tomorrow. A collaboration between two individuals, Emmanuel Olsen, also known as Triniter. Born to a South African father and a French mother. And grew up in France. And another individual mother, and Mzansi. This was called a South African, bred and raised, aspiring, a musical producer out of South Africa as well. You're going to be hearing more about this one definitely from the stable. We call this one BTJ, Back to Josie. I love that tune. And this is what we have this platform for, this radio station for, in a way of contributing our own quarter to mankind. to letting people know that, listen, it is what it is. If you got talent, there's somebody out there that's watching now, that's listening, that's ready to take it to the next level for you. It's just my thought process. That's what I believe in. You feel me? Right. This is Canada and BTJ playing for the very first time on the airwaves on Cradle Radio. And we're still back to the topic that we started from yesterday, a phone fraud epidemic. Over half of Canadians targeted as impersonation and spoofing scams explode. And now the Canadian government is ready to create a new financial crimes agency to combat that. Believe you me, new anti-fraud measures coming. Canada forming financial crime agency to tackle fraud and scams. That's more like it. And now it's building up. And I'm just telling you, just a tip of the iceberg of what's being planned right now. Federal government announces measure to strengthen the situation in which it's not a go-free situation anymore. And then when I read all these headlines, I want to go back and say, listen, man, I want to go to the government portal for information, and I want to find out. Now, in Canada, financial fraud impacts everyone and is becoming harder to detect and more prevalent in Canadians' daily lives. In 2024, the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre reported that Canadians had $643 million stolen due to fraud, representing nearly a 300% increase since 2020. The Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre estimates that these figures only represent 5 to 10% of total fraud losses in Canada, given that many victims are reluctant to report fraud. Now, currently, the only legislative requirements are a limit of consumer liability for unauthorized credit card transactions at $50. And the understanding that the Canadian Code of Practice for consumer debit card services, the consumers are not liable for losses in circumstances beyond their control, such as unauthorized use of the debit cards. As an initial step of the new federal anti-fraud strategy, the government will introduce legislative amendments to Bank Act. Now listen to this real good. These amendments will require banks to have policies and procedures to place policies and procedures in place to detect and prevent consumer targeted fraud and mitigate its harms. And also obtain the express consent of personnel. I need my glasses right here. Obtain the express consent of personal deposit account holders before enabling accounts capabilities which fraudsters can use to steal consumers' money, including transfers and payment capabilities, and to permit account holders to disable capabilities they do not want. It's lengthy, but we'll go through that with time. Allow personal deposit account holders to adjust their transactions limits to protect themselves. Collect data on financial fraud and report it to protect themselves. And I would have loved to continue reading and going over and over as regards what this communique has. But you can also go over to Canada.ca and read it out and find out what's beneficial for you and what's it entails, what it involves, and how helpful the Canadian government is trying to be for you. Sometimes when they're doing their work, I'm quick to point out that, but if they have legislations to help the citizenry, we all got to push it out. And hopefully, we don't know, somebody might just need a help today. And that person would be blessed with this information. And that's just my thought. That's my thought. Blessed with this information, and it can just go. All right, we got Rest Africa in here. All right, this is Canada for sure, bro. Time is never a friend, especially when we're having a good time. Informative session. Today's episode has been a continuation from yesterday's, and I'm blessed and I'm thankful that we could be able to wrap this with this one and get it on as of this moment. All right, I'm gonna call you back, man. You know, time show is running, show is wrapping up as well. But nonetheless, I still want to thank each and everybody that's been a part of this. Don't forget, like, we are gonna be streaming live on both Facebook and YouTube. What we're doing today, we're streaming live on YouTube as well. If you noticed that, you know, streaming side by side on 3 major areas: live stream on Facebook, live stream on YouTube, and we're having a live broadcast on CradleRadio. So, what can I say? Be watchful. All you gotta do is make sure that everything you're doing, you're keeping the third eye all around you. Don't release your data to nobody. Don't release anything to nobody. And try not to press those links that's been sent on your phone. Hopefully, those industries would also kind of work hand in hand with the government. If not, the government got to be finding people, finding industries, finding corporate agencies and companies as well. So we all need to put our hands on deck for this one. We all need to get things done. And hopefully when we do that, we might just be saving somebody's lives or somebody's earnings, or somebody's savings, and somebody's plans. My name is Akin Lawyer. This is CradleRadio. Don't forget, join our social media handles. We're practically on all platforms as CradleRadio. It's been my pleasure doing this. We'll do same tomorrow. Remember, the show starts at 9 a.m. officially, but the talk part of the show is from 10 to 11. So the live stream in which you could watch me and see happenings around in the studios starts at exactly 10 a.m. in the morning to 11. Mondays through Thursdays. Friday is our off day. We got to rest as well, isn't it? It's been my pleasure. I say stay safe, be well, and be good to yourselves, all right? So leave you with a song that I'm just still trying to, get the momentum with. It's called BTJ. BTJ. And we'll listen to this and we'll take a wrap, okay? Don't go nowhere, stay with me.
Voilà ici, au pied de la tour SABC. Je m'imaginais si j'étais resté dans le coin.
Wake up in the morning every weekday and join Akin Lawyer on CradleRadio.
J'ai cuisiné taxi sur tant de mystères à percer. Il fait froid à l'hôtel, j'ai la peau terne et pâle. Je passe mes premières soirées seul sur ma terre natale. Laisse la monnaie de ma pièce, 13 ans, pas une lettre. Je me sens dévisagé par cette ville qui m'a vu naître. Mes nuits sont tourmentées, je tourne insomniaque à 4h du mat. Analyse mes cauchemars dans mon cognac. Bois comme un polac, y'a des trucs qui ne changent pas. Je pense bien arrêter, hein. Mais je pense pas, je pense à mes gens pour qui mon amour jamais ne tarit. Des petits bouts de mon cœur disséminés dans les rues de Paris. À mes petits frères et tous, à nos soirées barrées. Je fantasme sur de Maxi, de Gogo Yubari. Je pense aux familles 16, Castro et Diego en Chine. Ah oui, Lothar et Thibaut McFly, j'ai pas vu sa fille. Tous ces trucs pas finis, j'ai du mal à flower. Dans le l'album à Bazou et mon histoire avec
I'm
Chloé.
in love with the city of my birth. Sengihamba amazwe akude esizweni kodwa ngibuyele eGoli. Home of my body, it's back to
Viennent les
Josie.
retrouvailles avec la famille. Tante Lily me fait la surprise, sort de derrière le mur sans rien dire.